So, someone the other day was asking me why I make these videos. And the reason why I feel it's very important to make these videos is because of how society is structured in a way. It's very hard to articulate because you got to think of the right words and try to explain it properly without going on a long ass rabbit trail of nonsense. But I'm going to try and articulate it for you. The reason why I feel it's important to make these videos is because nowadays in society, we look at men like Andrew Tate with almost godlike status. We see self-improvement. A lot of younger men are starting to realize we need to self-improve. We need to become the higher valued specimens. We need to become physical specimens of man. What I mean by that is just becoming a higher valued person in general. Just having more money, looking better, dressing right, proper hygiene. Like, these are all big things to becoming a higher value person. Because as soon as you start respecting yourself, the world starts to respect you. So if you start respecting yourself, that's going to give you more of an opportunity to get out of your 9 to 5, all the way to going and creating a business or getting to a higher valued position. Now, I've always been into self-improvement. I've had a lot of ups and downs with it. I'll start it for a while and then I'll go back down. But what I've understood recently is that society is trying to make us purposefully be weak. Society is purposefully wanting us to fail. From the time we're born to the time we grow up and start working, all the way to the time that we die. It's all a system where they control us and they try to make it so then we can just work. If we're always constantly thinking about other people, what they think, oh, we can't harm other people, or they might hurt us, we just think weakly. We think weakly nowadays. And if you're thinking weakly about other people's feelings, or, ooh, I hate that group, then how are you supposed to get anything done? You're too worried and caught up with everything else that's going on around you. You're distracted. And it's very important to not be distracted. That way you can start focusing on your goals. And you need to have goals as a man. Because this is going to go into the topic of masculinity and stuff like that I'll make a video on in the future. But I'm going to explain it to you briefly right now. And why it's so important. Because in my journeys of self-improvement, and what I've come to realize, is that masculinity is something that's very sacred. And society is trying to take that away. Because we get all these things from like feminists and such that say toxic masculinity. Now, true masculinity, if it's truly masculine, it's not toxic. True masculinity is reshaping the world around you for the better. So as a man, right? Instead of worrying about what other people think, you need to be working on your goals. There was this great video by Hamza, I'll find it in the description, of finding your purpose and how important it is. But he explained it almost like it was an onion or a piece of, like, a head of lettuce. And what it is you have this passion, this drive to go do something, right? So that's your purpose. So you got to do everything you can to work towards that. And the more you do, you peel back the layer. More, and then boom, it's gone, right? So then it's like, oh shit, what do I do now? But you feel grateful for that. You don't have instant gratification because you work so hard for that. So now you find another goal, or your next purpose, and you peel that back. Slowly, you get closer and closer and closer to it. And then boom, pops off. You feel grateful for that. You feel proud. And it's very important to do that as a man. Because once you start getting to that point and you start setting goals for yourself and you start making them happen, you're going to feel better about yourself. You're doing what society doesn't want. People are going to hate you for it. In fact, most of society is going to hate you for it. You're going to have to break away from your friendships because they aren't going to value the same value. They aren't going to value the same way as they did before. They're going to think you're weird, or they're going to start harassing you because you're doing better. They want to bring you down. Don't let them bring you down. You got to keep on going up. Now, how this ties into how I was talking before about what someone asked me of why I made these videos was that this is my purpose currently, is to bring this to you guys, show you how things need to be done. Like, I feel it's very important from me as a perspective as a young man that I was when I was still in high school. I didn't have these values that I do now. I didn't have the goals, I didn't have the drive, I didn't have the purpose that I needed. But what I've learned is that these values, what I'm teaching, what I'm trying to explain to you guys, needs to go out there to better the lives of young men. That way the next generation in society can be even better. There's this great quote that I love, and it goes, "Strong men create good times. Good times create weak men. Weak men create hard times. Hard times create strong men." We're in the midst of hard times right now. We're constantly distracted. We're constantly fighting one another. We're fighting each other in the wrong ways, first off, because we're all thinking about each other all the time, just bickering, fighting. No, how we need to do it is competitively through business, through knowledge, through intellect, through all these different things, instead of fighting face to face. Like, if we're constantly always worried about the other person, then we aren't going to make it. And this is the key, is that I'm trying to teach you guys the true values that are needed to be successful. I'm using myself as a beacon of that, because not only am I preaching what I believe, but I'm also applying it to my own life. And it's very important for you to do that, especially young men. Like, if you're inspired by me, you need to start following the same steps, getting to the same point I am, and keep on striving and learning what I'm teaching you, because it's very important. And then, for instance, if you have brothers, sisters, your brothers, they're going to take to you. Your sisters, they're going to take to you, right? You're already a huge role model for them. And they're going to start to follow you. They're going to start doing the same things you're doing. They're going to start bettering themselves because you're bettering yourself. Maybe your parents will join in because they see how much you've improved as a person. And they're like, wow, that's very respectable. I'm very proud of you, son. It just happens. People will start to follow you once you get to a point where you respect yourself, you look good, you start working on yourself and your goals, which is the 3 key tenets of what I'm teaching. The 3 key tenets. And it's very important to know these because you'll start respecting yourself, other people will start to respect you, you'll be more successful. And it's important to be successful because every young person dreams of being successful. But the issue is that we get locked down too early in life, whether that be in a relationship that we end up getting married to when we're fresh out of high school, within a year or 2. That's fucking dumb. Why are you doing that? Don't focus on women. Because let me tell you something. I was in a relationship recently. I just recently left it as well. But they came up here, right? I met them for the first time. It was a long distance relationship. And when they were here, I knew I couldn't be the provider that I wanted to for them. And so I started to strive to become that great provider, that successful person. And people are going to flock to you if you do that anyways. But I have to put in the work now. That way I can enjoy it later with my family, with my wife, with my kids. They didn't understand that I had to leave them behind, let bygones be bygones. But the key thing is to be a proper supporter, you need to be successful. And that's what I'm trying to teach you, is to be successful. You're not going to be working your 9 to 5 if you learn from me. You're not going to be a sad, depressed, lonely Jeffrey who just sits there, doing whatever on Pornhub, for instance, right? You aren't going to be doing that. You're going to be valuing yourself as a person. You're going to be following these key tenets. You're going to become successful. And that's the entire point of these, is to make you realize what the world is doing and to teach you the way to go. Like, I know I haven't posted a whole lot right now recently, in the or in Instagram really, but I'm going to get back into that. I just wasn't feeling very good at the time. Like, I was sick. I had a huge headache. I was very stuffy. Throat was hurting. Could barely even talk. Like, it was pretty bad. Now, I'm going to go ahead and teach you guys what you need to do to go into life and be successful. It's important to learn these things when you're still in high school, because then as soon as you're out of high school, you can start applying them. Hopefully, if you learn soon enough, you don't even have to get a job. Like, you can ask people for a small amount of money and start building your own business, your own company, before you even leave high school. Imagine how great that would be. Imagine your peers going to work a 9 to 5, getting paid minimum wage straight out of high school, or going to uni and going into student debt, while you're sitting there raking in $3,000-$4,000 a day. Why wouldn't you want that? That's what I'm trying to explain to you guys, is to give you the opportunity to take that, to take what I'm teaching you and apply that to your life, showing you that it can be done by using myself. It's very important. It's very important, and people don't seem to realize that enough. I got a couple of friends that I used to talk to. I say friends, but I don't think we really... I say friends, and I still kind of do think we are friends in a sense, only because of our bonds were much stronger than they are now. But I look out for them. I want to show them the way that I want to show them that it's very important to try and do these things. That way, they won't fall or feel worse later in life. Like, I'm not saying that you can't work a 9 to 5 and be happy with your life. It's just very hard. A lot of people feel very unfulfilled. They don't feel like they're needed in society. And what I'm trying to teach is that you don't need that. You can, if you have self-love for yourself and the integrity to go through hardship to make your life better, then you're going to feel so much better about yourself. You're just going to feel great all the time. You're going to be happy if you learn how to do these things. And that's the entire point of these videos. It's just to teach you and open your eyes to the world, to give you an opportunity to escape the system that we have surrounding us. I want to thank you very much for watching. Please go ahead, like, subscribe, anything you want to do. If you don't understand, maybe I'll try to explain it later in the future. Just let me know down in the comments below. Thank you.